Okay, waiting for people to join. All right. Hi everyone. Hi Dinigo. Hi Love Lungani. Hi Fatso Makinana. I hope you guys are doing well today. I had some network issues. I'm not sure what's happening with me today. I've really been struggling with network. I hope you guys are doing well. I have just decided to come on in here and not just talk about the Graduate Accelerator program, right? But I thought to myself, you know what, Sivu? A lot of people are struggling with cover letter writing, right? And I, on a daily basis, get to draft cover letters for some of our students and, you know, external candidates coming in for cover letter reviews, cover letter drafting. And there's so many mistakes that students and graduates are making when it comes to cover letter writing. And it just saddens my heart, because if you are not going to have a proper, well-curated cover letter for law firms, it's sort of going to be very difficult for them to take you seriously. It's going to be difficult for you guys to even get interviews. It's going to be difficult to even progress to the next round of the recruitment process, be it a psychometric assessment or whatever the case is. So I did make a couple of notes here just to help someone who is maybe trying to figure things out when it comes to cover letter writing. And I think before I even start with that, I just want to also remind everyone, if you're not aware, if you're not part of our WhatsApp group, if you have not attended an information session, is that we are currently running a 50% off our Graduate Accelerator program for the month of November, right? So the next intake of students who are going to be joining us are eligible to join at a 50% off, right? If you have heard of our Graduate Accelerator program, we essentially work with law students and law graduates, and we help them secure vacation work or articles within a relatively short period of time. So if you're interested, right, just DM us the word ready and we'll give you all the information. That's the 50% off. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you've never attended any of our information sessions, maybe just go to our bio, right? Click on the link that's there. It will take you directly to our WhatsApp group, and you can get to attend an information session. In fact, we've got one happening today at 7 o'clock, just so that you can familiarize yourself with the program, what it is about, who we look for, and how we go about doing everything that we do. Yeah, so I'll touch on that maybe a bit later again, but to everyone who has maybe joined now, I just want to take maybe a couple of minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so, just to give you guys the essential points, right, to cover letter writing. It's not just your CV that is important, guys. It's not just one thing that will get you inside the firm and be an employable candidate. You just need to be an all-rounded individual, right? So First things first, guys, when it comes to cover letters, and I hope you all know this one, right? And it is that your cover letter can be no more than 1 page. Let's just start there, okay? Because some of you just miss this point completely, and you write cover letters that are 2 pages long, cover letters that are 3 pages long. No one has the time to read that. It needs to be as concise as possible, and it needs to be straight to the point. All right, so everything should fit in 1 page. And I know for maybe some of you it doesn't make sense, because you're just like, well, I don't have enough space to expound on my experience and skills in 1 page, and I still need to add, my address and the firm's address, and I'm not left with much space. But you need to work around things like font size that you're going to be using, and your spacing. But essentially, everything needs to fit in a page, nothing more than that. So I hope that just lays ground for what follows, because that is really, really important. Okay. I think what I also maybe want to share is that you any further, right? So mention why you are excited about applying for this particular position or particular role, whether it be for VEC work, whether it be for articles. Okay. And mention then how you being excited with the role aligns with your goals or expertise. And maybe that goes to my next point, where we are highlighting relevant skills and experiences, right? So recruiters would, you also have your work experience in your CV, you have your leadership experience, you've got your certifications, you've got everything, right? But when it comes to cover letter writing, you don't want to mention everything point by point again. So focus on 2 or 3 skills or experiences that directly relate to the role, and always make sure to provide examples, practical examples, okay? Which essentially showcase how you have successfully applied those skills in your previous roles. The problem becomes when students, again, go off the tangent and list verbatim what's already in their CV. That's not quite the purpose of a cover letter, right? Or a motivational letter. By the way, cover letter, motivation letter, or motivational letter, those words are used interchangeably. They mean, one and the same thing. So don't be ever confused by that. You are essentially giving reasons as to why you are an ideal candidate for that firm, or why the firm should consider you for the role that you are applying for. Okay, so again, minimum 2, maximum 3 practical examples that you would have extrapolated from your CV. Okay, let's see what else is here. I made a note around, oh yes, showcasing your research on the company. Guys, it's very important to demonstrate to firms that you've done your homework, right? And that this is not just another cover letter that's random, that's being sent out to the firm. Because believe you me, if you're going to be BSing firms, they're going to BS you back, right? Because it's very easy to point out cover letters that have no visible sort of indication that there's been an effort here, or that there's been a level of research conducted. So all your cover letters need to be tailor-made to the specific firm that you are applying to. And the reason why, for some of you, your applications are sort of falling off the seams, or you seem to be getting rejected quite a lot, it might not even be because of your CV, right? It might be when it's neck and neck and they are reading cover letters. It's just the fact that maybe you did not put in as much effort as the next candidate. And it's very easy to point out students that have done this homework, right? To go and have a look at the firm's practice areas, to understand what are the values of this firm, who are the people who are working here, what is the vision of the firm, what is it all about, how has it sort of set itself apart from the marketplace. Because once you understand that, you are in a much more better position to really give a good cover letter that speaks to what the firm is about, right? So mention a specific project, mention an accolade, mention a value of the firm that resonates with you. And you're not going to be able, guys, to do that if you are not going to spend some time going to the firm's website and sourcing this kind of information. And I do get it. It's very difficult to do this, right? For all the law firms that you're submitting applications to, because some of you are really submitting maybe like 10 applications per day or 50 applications per week. And what do you mean I need to do research on all those law firms? It's tiring, it's tedious. But guess what? It needs to be done at the end of the day, right? Because they could care less whether you're submitting 50 other applications to other law firms. What they care about is what's in front of them, what they are reading. And so you must just make some time to produce quality applications. When you are a student of ours at SMA, this is taken care of, right? So our students get the privilege of having cover letters drafted for them, right? We also draft their CVs. So if you were part of the program, this would be perfect for someone who's saying, I just don't understand how to go about drafting these cover letters. I don't understand the agenda behind what is required of me. I mean, what do I list? What do I not list? How do I even go about doing this research? And how do I know what to take from the website and write about, what to exclude? Our students never have to worry about that. And that is why I'm always encouraging people to attend our free information sessions. Last week, we were running free CV writing sessions. Go to our, what is this called? Is it a feed, right? So when you go to our bio, you'll see there's a link there. When you click on that link, it will direct you to our WhatsApp group, where you will get information on our free sessions, our information sessions, just to understand what the program is about, right? And if you're a student, you're a graduate, and you need help finding articles, you need help getting into a vet program, for the month of November, we are running a 50% off, right? The total cost of our Graduate Accelerator program. And that is just amazing. Also because if you're not going to take hold of the special discount that we have going on, we're increasing our prices for 2025. We do this on an annual basis, right? So if you have been low on funds, you've maybe thought about joining GAP, but you didn't have, the financial means to do so, now would be the perfect time. We don't run discounts at all at SMA, and for us to be doing this means that we're really serious about it. And if you're looking at joining in November, please get in touch with us, send us a DM. You can just DM us the word ready, and we'll give you all the information on that, right? Okay, so going back to cover letter writing, I've just touched on the fact that you need to show that you've researched the company really, really well. That will really help you stand out. and then focus on what you can offer. A lot of the guys tend to just focus on what the job can offer them, right? So it's always about me, myself, and I, and never about the law firm and how it is going to benefit from your skills, your experiences, and your competitive advantages that you're bringing into the firm, right? So really take the time to explain how your experiences are going to benefit the law firm instead of just always having it about what you are going to benefit from the position. Okay, so your value proposition must be clear and it must be aligned to the goals of the law firm as well. And then another note I have here is, let me see. Okay, so just around quantifying your achievements, right? So you want to use numbers to quantify what you've been able to, maybe achieve over the years. So for example, if you are part of a leadership team and you are leading a team within, that organization, then you want to be, using words like led a team of 5 people or managed a team of 5 executive committee members, raised capital to the amount of 8,000 rands for a sanitary pad initiative, whatever the case is, right? You must try and demonstrate your impact, right? And what it is that you have been able to do. Because when you use numbers to quantify your achievements, we get a clear sense of who you are as a leader and what your leadership capabilities are. And because it is so competitive in the recruitment space, the burden of proof is always on you to demonstrate to law firms that you are a distinguishable candidate, right? So you never want to be vague or just be humble about what you've been able to do. You want to really say, well, hey, this is who I am, this is what I've done, these are the facts, right? Or if you maybe want to, I don't know, maybe show numbers in the form of percentages, that's also fine. But always, always, always be quantifying your achievements. It is super, super important. So that's one tip I love giving out to people, even in the information sessions that we run on a weekly basis. I've already touched on this one and I wanted to touch on it earlier because it's so important, and that is keeping your cover letters concise and focused. So again, your cover letter can be no more than 1 page, guys. Anything more than that is just ridiculous. They're not going to read it. They don't have the time for that. They do want to understand a bit more about who you are and what you have to offer, but it doesn't mean you need to give me a 2-3 page long essay on that, right? You're not have to offer. I'm not sure what's happening with my network. I hope I'm not disconnected or anything like that. Okay, and next would be I think this is the last one, really. So showing enthusiasm and cultural fit. What did I make a note of here? Okay, so it's just around maybe the company's culture and expressing genuine excitement for the role itself. And look, it's often very difficult to understand what the culture of any organization is, mainly because that's not readily put out there or visible on the company's website. So you can't really say, well, now I understand the culture of the company and therefore I am going to write a strong motivational letter to show this cultural fit. And that is why, things like maybe information sessions hosted by law firms, VEC work programs, networking events are so important, you guys. Or maybe even reaching out to the recruitment team, or maybe someone who's part of the recruitment team on LinkedIn, sending them an email and maybe asking for an informational interview so that you can get to understand the firm in depth. And when you come with that sort of understanding of what the culture of the firm looks like, then you can use that information to expound on it. So be proactive as someone who's trying to find articles. Don't just, do what everyone else is doing. Always think about, how can I take the road less traveled, right? Because if you're going to be showing genuine excitement for the role because you spoke with Keke at Weber Wenzel, or you visited their offices, or you attended VEC work, or you just asked for a job shadowing opportunity, that is gold, right? In terms of information and in terms of writing really strong cover letters that make sense and that show recruiters that you have done your homework. Okay. And then the very last point. Okay, let me see. Oh, okay. So you always want to end with a call to action, right? So you have your cover letter in full, you've listed your skills, your experiences, what you have to offer, you've done your research, you've showed us in your letter that you've done some extensive research and it's clearly visible. Then end the letter with a call to action, right? So maybe politely suggest to recruiters that you would love to meet, whether in person or on Teams virtually, to discuss the role and how you can contribute to the team. And obviously, maybe you already have your personal information, so your email and your contact details on the cover letter itself. So that is how you would want to go about structuring a really, really strong cover letter, guys. I hope that helps. Look, it's good information that I've just shared, but if you maybe want us to draft a cover letter for you, or you want to maybe attend training on cover letters, do send us a DM. We do offer once-off services for cover letters, for CV writing, for mock interviews. But I guess, the crux of this live was to really point out to you guys how important cover letters are. And most of you just maybe want to focus on the CV and that's it. And you forget that there's this other important component to your application, and that is your cover letter. Because once the recruiters have gone through everyone's CVs, it's now a neck and neck situation where they really want to understand candidates a bit better. And depending on how much time you spent on your cover letter, and trust me, it always shows, and how much research you have conducted on the firm, it might just be the determining factor between law firms sending out an email inviting you to an interview, or sending out an email rejecting your application because your cover letter just didn't hit the mark. And that is it with cover letters. Those of you who just joined now and you missed it, I am going to save this live, so you can always just go back and maybe watch it. I'm also going to maybe upload it on our YouTube channel as well. And if you don't know yet, we do have a YouTube channel, so maybe just go check out. I think we've got three or four, not sure, but 3 videos that have been uploaded on our YouTube. It's Civil Mentorship Academy. Really amazing lives that we've done with some of our students who have went on to sign at reputable law firms. If you guys have questions, I'm not sure, please feel free to, engage and ask anything really, whether it be related to what I was talking about today, cover letters, or maybe any, other question or questions that you might have. Just ask away. Sandy. Hi, Sandy, I'm not sure, do you have a question or are you just saying hi? But I hope you're doing well. And then maybe lastly, guys, remember vacation work is also coming up in December. Some firms are still open and maybe closing now towards month end of October. A couple of applications for VEC work, not one, not two, because we want to cast the net as wide as possible. It always amazes me, when students say, guys, I think it's maybe time for me to call it a day. My network is just doing the most. Let me see. Gamu, I did get disconnected, and this is the only text I'm seeing from you. NTS, if you're up for it, kind regards. Please just, type that out again for me, because I did get disconnected and maybe, my chats didn't come through. So I'm not quite sure what it is that you were asking or maybe inquiring about. And I hope I am still here, or am I speaking to myself? I'm not sure. Okay, all right. Denigo just sent me something. Must you wait to get rejected before you can assume that you have been rejected? Or if they miss, you must just know, must you wait to get rejected before you can assume that you have been rejected? Well, it's never a rejection, or maybe not in the formal sense or in the technical sense, if they have not communicated a rejection to you, right? So if they have not rejected you, and if part of the application process, there was no specification that after a certain period of time, you must consider your application as unsuccessful, then don't assume that you have been rejected. Always try, guys, to follow up with law firms, right? Give them a call. They are dealing with a lot of applications on a daily basis, and sometimes things just do fall through the cracks, and maybe by mistake. And you find that when you follow up, they actually realize that they made a mistake. They were supposed to move your application to the next stage. Or maybe because you followed up, they only now get to actually go and see what is going on with your application and move your application to the next stage. That has happened with so many of our students because we do teach them really just the art and the power of follow-ups. So don't just sit back and wait all the time. I'm not saying you're going to be pestering recruiters with a lot of follow-ups, because that's not what you want to do. But at the same time, listen, this is your career. You just want to be ahead of everyone else. And I just don't understand why people are afraid of calling law firms, or they're afraid of visiting law firms. They're afraid of reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn. I don't understand that, right? There's nothing wrong with literally going to CDH's offices, booking an appointment, asking to directly face-to-face speak with a recruiter, there's nothing wrong with calling Weber Wenzel, right? And asking reception to transfer you to the graduate recruitment team because you want to follow up on your application. And if you are going to be doing that work and you're going to be proactive, maybe good things are going to come out of that effort, right? Okay. Okay, let's see. This is unrelated, but I have a law student association. We would love to host you for a talk next year. Would you mind? Please sharing your contact details so that we can make arrangements if you're up for it. Oh, okay, Gamu. More than happy to consider that, depending on where I would be traveling to. So just send me a DM. Now just say hi, Sivu, and reference this live and the conversation, and I'll provide you with our email address and you can forward that through to us. I do consider invitations from student associations, but mainly in the Gauteng region, right? So Joburg, Pretoria, anything outside of that. I think the only time I would even consider it or maybe say yes is if the association or the varsity itself would be funding the travel. So I think I've received one from the University of Limpopo and I just said, guys, I can't, right? And they were not going to be compensating or anything like that. And I don't expect to be compensated when I'm traveling to varsities, but it just needs to be within Gauteng. So Wits, UNISA, in Johannesburg, Pretoria, Varsity College, Sandton, Waterfall, Pretoria, UP, UJ, anything outside of that, it's a bit tricky unless it's virtual. Okay. It will be online, so don't stress about perfect. Then that's great. That's great. But guys, if you are part of student associations or you're part of programs at school, in your residences, and you would like SMA to just come and maybe do a young session on something. It could be interviews, it could be psychometric assessments, it could be cover letters, showing you guys how to draft CVs. Just send us an email, send us a DM. It's okay, right? We do love sort of receiving those. Okay. All right. I think that will be all from my side. Just one last thing. Again, remember for the month of November, we are running a 50% off our graduate accelerator program. So if you are interested in joining at a very, very discounted rate, again, also send us a DM and we'll give you all